Okay, I just want to show you guys a little bit of what I've been working on lately. I am drawing some realistic human face drawings, and this is this profile view of this sailor, kind of older fella, is coming out of this book, The Art of Drawing Portraits, Faces and Figures by Giovanni Civardi. It's published by Search Press, and it takes you through a step-by-step process. Now, when I did this step-by-step process, I like to draw the steps mostly for practice at drawing, but sometimes for drawing from the reference, it's better to just not even do those steps, and I'll show you what I mean, or I'll just show you how it went for me. So I didn't draw this one, but I took a stab at this twice, and both times it came out real awkward. Didn't really look like that, and it definitely didn't look like him. But what's important to know when you're using these kind of books and following the steps that the artists are showing you is that was their process of drawing this guy, and they were using a different reference. They might have been using a photograph, or they might have been using the live model, and they were doing this to help them see what's there. So a lot of times it's actually better to just use the finished reference. This can help you break it down into steps, but it also can derail you a little bit, and a lot of times that's what I've found is I'm trying to draw this, and if I'm not actually looking at that, it gets kind of weird, and I don't know, I was a little distracted or not very focused, but I stretched out the head a bunch, and you know, neither of these turned out much like this one, this is the one I did. I made it larger, but I did it just looking at this guy without doing those other steps. So that's just something to be aware of. I'll show you a couple other drawings that I did from this book, just to show you my little process and show you some of my mistakes along the way, and because I don't claim to be amazing at doing this. I'm a learner. So this kind of three-quarter profile view, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. All 4 of those, I believe I used this reference. And I did it kind of quickly. I wasn't really being super careful, but you can see none of these are great. None of these turned out great. They're all just quick sketches. And then some of them I took some liberties and put some other lines in there and kind of changed the personality of the character. Here's another one, still not great. Then I started drawing this one, and wow, that one just didn't turn out good at all. This one's a little better. That's from this reference here. And then that one I like better than the other one on the other page for this. And then this one I like even more. And I did another one here. So part of what happens is as I'm practicing these, and I'll draw from the same reference several times because I'm trying to get better at drawing. I'm trying to draw realistically and accurately and quickly. So all 3 of those, drawing realistically and drawing quickly are 2 different skills, and I'm not great at either of them, but I'm getting better by practice. And as I'm doing that, you can see I did those other drawings, and then I was kind of getting warmed up, and I was getting a little more comfortable, and I was getting to know the character, and my proportions are a little bit better. But none of these are a perfect redrawing of this, and this is just a sketch anyways. This isn't a finished drawing either. Here's another set of drawings. This page over. So this, again, based on this one, just practicing seeing the head tilt and trying it a few times. And I did it more than once, and this one didn't necessarily turn out better than those. I'm trying to remember when I did it. because I like these better than that one. So maybe I was getting tired, or maybe I was focused on something else. I don't know. But I did this particular one like 4 or 5 times. These three, and then a couple other times, just for practice. Okay, let's keep going. Let's look at this guy. It's the same character. It's just different points of view, and you can see. I struggle with this one as far as getting a realistic likeness. It did something weird with the nose. But I kind of learned some things about head angles, reminded myself of some things about head angles as I did it. And again, on this one, by the time I did the third one, I did improve. So of the 3, I like this one the best. They're all, like I said before, they're sketches. This one, character's looking down. And this one I had a lot of fun with. I think this is one of my favorites. I don't know, there's something dramatic about the point of view. But there's some differences and some mistakes and some proportion issues. Made the forehead bigger, made the nose proportionally bigger. Kind of like how it turned out, but it's different from the reference. Some different things on that one too, and that one. But what I'm trying to model is take something like this and do it more than once. Practice with it, and try to enjoy the practice, and don't get too hung up on being perfect in your process. If you're trying to draw something perfectly and accurately, you probably wouldn't use that as your reference. This is a sketch. I added a bunch of lines in mine that aren't in the original. And okay, here's one I also like. This is the upward looking point of view. I enjoy doing these. And there's those two. I don't know if it's the angle that I liked. Maybe the smallness of the head. Maybe the shapes were easier for me to recognize. Something about it, just I was more comfortable with it, and I found it easier to get a likeness. Maybe part of the reason why is when you're looking up at somebody, it's not the view you're normally looking at, and so it's harder to see the mistakes. Maybe is part of it. Anyway, and then this guy, go over here. Here's a step-by-step with larger images. This is on page 32 and 33, again, of drawing portraits. Faces. Okay, so I didn't draw these 2 large. I just kind of quickly put them in place. And then what I did is I went to this one. I like this one where it's kind of lays out the map, so to speak. It's sometimes referred to as the frames of the face. The planes, I should say, not the frames, the planes. Each of these little planes is drawn kind of almost like it's like a flat piece that's put together. And it's kind of a fun way to look at the structure of a face. And it was fun doing that, and some things I got correct. I see some mistakes too, and some proportionality issues where his face and the side of his face is a little narrower than I drew it. I put more space there, which I guess is the opposite of my normal problem. Is I don't leave enough sometimes. I bring this ear in too close. And I might have, the eye might not be sitting exactly where it should be. But sketching and practicing. And then this was the final one. Mine's not quite finished, but you get an idea of what the goal was. And again, some proportionality issues. The nose is a little bigger in mine. Should be up there a little bit. Lips, maybe we're drawing a little too low. If you just make a small little mistake on length in one place when you're first starting, it leads to, you take that mistake with you all the way. So you have to be really careful. And sometimes it's easier to do and sometimes it's not. So I'm not bragging on my drawings. I'm not saying they're amazing. I'm showing you my process, and I hope it helps. I am pretty happy with this. I went ahead and I wasn't sure if I wanted to draw this guy, and then I started doing it, and I was so frustrated when I was doing these. And then I was like, all right, I got in the right headspace or whatever it was. I got relaxed and I was just enjoying it. And I think, you know, I don't know, I might spend a little more time on this, but I kind of like where it is. So that's what I wanted to show you guys.